Hello everyone, welcome back to FantasyFootballFix.com. My name's FPL Phillips and welcome back to another installment of your quick guide. And this is a series where we've been looking at the captaincy, the upcoming fixtures and the predicted points totals each week to help you make the best decisions ahead of the upcoming game week. If you're new around here and you're enjoying the series, please do remember to subscribe if you like what you see at the end and leave a thumbs up so you can let us know that you are enjoying the content and finding this series helpful, so we'll continue bringing it for you guys. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into having a look at how you can grab a green arrow with our quick guide to Game Week 4. So first up, we want to discuss the captaincy really, and we have the same three standout captaincy options as last week. I did make the right call in this video, the Game Week 3 edition, and I actually just suggested captaining Mohamed Salah, who did score the most points out of the three options you can see on screen right now. But yeah, either way, it wasn't a massive captaincy haul, no matter who you went with really, unless you went with a major differential captaincy pick in Game Week 3. But maybe it'll be different in Game Week 4, so we've got the same three options again, who I think are the standouts, that being Mohamed Salah, Erling Haaland, and of course Gabriel Jesus. In terms of the predicted points that we've grabbed from the predicted points tool over on the Fantasy Football Fix website, you can see that Mohamed Salah is predicted 8.6 points, which is actually quite far ahead of Erling Haaland and Gabriel Jesus, down at 6.6 and 5.6 respectively. A bigger gulp in points than last week in terms of their predictions. The ownership is obviously higher on Jesus. He's higher owned at the moment, and you will actually be able to see the predicted effective ownership over on Friday when it's been calculated by the Captain Reveal website tool that you can see via the link in the description as well. So if you're interested in effective ownership, definitely keep your eyes on that area of the website. In terms of the fixtures this week, we know Salah's got Bournemouth, Haaland against Crystal Palace, who are probably the most informed team out of the three opponents, and then Gabriel Jesus against Fulham. And for those teams, we like to look at their expected goals conceded when we're considering attacking captaincy options, given that we want to pick the weakest defence and basically target that, as well as how well informed these attacking options are. And when we look at that data, we can see that so far over the 22-23 season, per 90 minutes, it's expected that Fulham are conceding the most goals. So their expected goals conceded is the highest, which means they're the worst defence, basically. In terms of the expected FPL points, however, that goes in favour of Erling Haaland, who's on 8.57 expected FPL points per 90, much higher than Salah and Jesus, really, when we consider that's per 90 minutes. And then expected goals per team, so we look at the team's attacking data. Manchester City look like the best attack, with Arsenal in second, and Liverpool actually down in third, but not too far behind Arsenal, given how poor to their start to the season is being considered by some. So yeah, who would I go for once again if I was picking the captaincy? I would be sticking the armband on Mohamed Salah this week. I think it's very hard to turn away from that Bournemouth fixture, and yeah, I think Liverpool are definitely going to look to bounce back from that loss to Manchester United on Monday night, and I'm sure it will start with a victory over Bournemouth. But you never know, there's been some rumours whether it's 7th season syndrome for Klopp. He seems to struggle in his 7th season at different clubs, which is quite interesting that he even makes it to his 7th season at a lot of clubs, which not many managers seem to do these days. I don't really buy into that. I think Mohamed Salah is going to perform well in Game Week 4, and he'll be my captain ahead of this upcoming game week. So yeah, that covers the captaincy picks. Let me know who you're captaining down below in the comments for sure. Are you going with one of these three, or are you maybe even going with someone different or considering a differential captaincy option? We'll of course be looking at the top predicted point scorers for Game Week 4, all the top 10 later on in this video, so make sure you stay tuned. But before that, we're going to have a look at the upcoming fixtures and fixture difficulty rankings for the next couple of game weeks. So Game Weeks 4 to 7 is the period we're looking at this week, as you can see. And using the fixture analyzer over at the Fantasy Football Fix website, we can split that into attacking fixture difficulty and defensive fixture difficulty, which I think is one of the amazing features of the website, that you can look separately for your midfielders and forwards, look at the attacking fixture difficulty, and then when you're considering clean sheets with your defenders and goalkeepers, you could look at the defensive fixture difficulty. And a lot of people like myself at the moment will be stuck on Andy Robertson, and Liverpool are actually top of the defensive fixture difficulty rankings over the next couple of game weeks, as you can see. We've struggled for clean sheets so far, obviously, but I'm really hoping that they can pick some up over this period, and I'm probably going to stick with Andy Robertson, even with him dropping in price. Arsenal in second. I'm sure people are already loaded up on Ramsdale, Zinchenko, adding Saliba as well. I've seen a few people with Saliba who, of course, grabbed that goal in Game Week 3, which is a very nice haul for his owners. Leeds are in there as well, and Bournemouth, who we aren't really targeting in terms of defences, but Brighton come in 5th, with Robert Sanchez looking like an even more impressive pick than he was at the start of the season after 2 clean sheets in the first 3 game weeks. So yeah, definitely keeping hold of Robert Sanchez if you have him is the best plan. Adding perhaps Lewis Dunk could be a nice option to go for if you're looking to add more of your Brighton defence, or just add a Brighton defender, but you don't want to use a substitute or transfer on goalkeeper, I should say, as it's really not worth it in general, is moving across goalkeepers in FPL. We like to use our transfers on outfield players. It's generally considered the best strategy. In terms of the attacking fixture difficulty on the left-hand side, you can see that Pascal Gross looks like a good option, with some more attacking fixtures coming up next that look very tasty indeed. He isn't on penalties, which is something to consider. A lot of people thought that he was going to be on penalties and taking them, myself included. It was actually McAllister who took that penalty when they won one against West Ham at the weekend, which does limit Gross's appeal as a little bit. And maybe if you haven't got the money to go for Pascal Gross, you could go for McAllister. And of course, you can analyse their Opta stats over on the Fantasy Football Fix website to compare how they face off against each other, or even use the player heat maps feature to look at their heat maps and compare their data per 90 minutes to see who's the better option or the better value as a pick. Arsenal are also in there, Brentford as well, so Tony, Jesus, Martinelli, these guys all looking fantastic options, as we know. Liverpool in there, so hold tight with your Liverpool assets, and then Chelsea as well, who have looked disappointing. However, perhaps they can bounce back from that defeat to Leeds with a victory against Leicester and a few more victories in their next couple of games. I'm hoping that Reece James will be moving back to right wing back, so that I'll have him as an option, and looking at those attacking fixture difficulty is hoping that he'll get forward and actually be able to grab some attacking returns after a disappointing one-pointer in game week 3. But yeah, last of all, we're going to touch on the predicted points and see who are the top predicted point scorers across game week 4. Mohamed Salah, as you can see, in first with 8.6, way ahead of the pack on that number, with De Bruyne coming in second, but quite far behind on 6.7 when you consider the grand scheme of things. Holland down there in third, with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Diaz in 4th and 5th, so 3 of the top 5 are Liverpool assets. It's worth noting that, and not reacting too much on one game week, which some people do have the tendency to do. It takes some experience in FPL really, and some consideration to make sure you don't knee-jerk your Liverpool players out when they have really nice fixtures up next and are predicted to get a lot of points in this next game week, even the next game week up. Robertson in 6th as well, so 4 Liverpool players in the top 6 picks, with Son, Jesus, Martinelli, and then Virgil van Dijk making up the top 10. So yeah, lots of Liverpool players in here. We know that Jesus and Martinelli are good picks, obviously. Heung-min Son, perhaps that's enough to make you hold tight if you are still owning the Korean at this point in the season. But yeah, how many of the top 10 predicted point scorers for this game week do you own? Let me know down below in the comments. I'm very interested to hear. And are you considering transferring any of them in or any of them out for this game week? But yeah, that's going to wrap up another edition of your quick guide. And this time it was for game week 4, of course. Let me know if it's been helpful and leave a thumbs up if it was. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. And I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.